you don't like what you like. You don't even know what you like. Hi, my beautiful apple. It has been a long time since I last posted, some months now, I think. A lot of things changed since then, and today I want to talk about performance mainly, how we women mostly feel performative. I saw a girl on YouTube wearing the title performative as a badge of honor, and I was quite surprised because I never saw someone referring to the term as something positive. If we reflect on it for a little bit, maybe we ourselves feel that we are performative, and not in a bad sense. Because it's kind of okay to want to be something, to want to look a certain way, to want people to believe you are a certain way. But at the same time, it is hard to feel genuine with yourself. And it's fine to want a little bit of act of theater in your life, of romanticizing whatever you want to romanticize. My husband mostly talks to me about this, that I try to romanticize life too much, and if life is not as I think it should be, I am sad, depressed, and I don't feel like living anymore. Okay, maybe he is right, and maybe I want something else out of my life. He also says that I don't need to prove myself regarding things that I love. But you do. It is very cruel to say to yourself or to others that you don't like what you like. You don't even know what you like. Being performative essentially means appearing certain ways that are not true, or appearing to like something that you don't really like for the sake of other people knowing that you do. The only person you don't need to prove those things to is yourself. And it's really hard when it is to yourself you have to prove those things. For example, I've loved The Picture of Dorian Gray for years now. The first time I read it, I was 13 years old. And since it's a classic, and I used to read classics a lot, and I used to like classics a lot, I was always called the bookworm. I always felt that later in my adult life, I had to keep on liking those things to appear smarter, or essentially just to be a part of communities that I like. You don't really like classics. You just like to say that you do. Maybe, I don't know. It's really hard on yourself to feel that maybe you are the one in the wrong. Maybe you never liked what you said you liked, and you have to constantly prove to yourself that you do like it. But babes, you're alone in your room talking to a camera. Why do you feel that you don't like the things that you genuinely say you like? If you genuinely say you like those things, why are you questioning yourself? There is no one else here you have to prove yourself to. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. And it's okay to want to go out and be something that maybe you're not. And maybe you will turn into that fake it till you make it type shit, you know? I never liked certain types of books that people adored. For example, Akatar. I never liked Akatar. Do I feel superior because of it? No. Maybe if I read it now and I'll end up enjoying it, I won't feel superior or performative either. Because the term performative is really usually associated with things that are considered to be more on the knowledgeable category, which is in the realm of books. Avatar doesn't fit the category, but The Picture of Dorian Gray does. That's just how you divide things. But either way, in hobbies, reading books fits the category, but for example, playing football doesn't. Except if you are a woman, which makes you more interesting than if you are a man. See what I mean? It's kind of... Because if you like football as a woman, you are performative. But if you like football as a man, you're just like a regular person. Because it's really, maybe it's a gender construction. Because a man, to be performative, they don't have to play football, they have to read books. A woman, to be performative, she doesn't have to just read books. She has to read the top canon books, you know? It can't be by like Ali Hazelwood or something. Nuh-uh. It has to be like Tolstoy, Dostoevsky. I don't know, not even Jane Austen qualifies. The term performative comes mostly from reading not just classics, but the Russian ones. Everyone knows that a guy who reads Tolstoy is performative, and I find it baffling. Maybe they just enjoy it. Or maybe they really do want to appear. And what is wrong with wanting a bit of a performance in one's life? If you are sad, if you are tired, if life is not going the way you want to, what is wrong with wanting to be a little bit better than anyone else? Or just look like you are, because you're not. And thinking, for today, I'm better.
I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
And then you end up crying in your living room. Because maybe you're not better in any way, because, people have their own lives. And liking something does not make you better than someone that doesn't. But being a person of knowledge, mostly on the humanities side, is performative in a sense. Nowadays, no one bats an eye to an engineer. They do bat an eye to someone that knows too much about arts. Because it's not that usual. Mostly because of the shift that literature and arts are not relevant anymore in this world, and that there's people in these fields, they are worse than the others, but their minds are more beautiful, so we want to like think that we are like them. But when you actually are like them, you feel like you're not good enough. I don't know if I'm getting too worked up here, or if you can just like go with me, or if I'm going around in circles and not saying anything, because I just overall want to talk. And maybe if I think too much about this, maybe I don't agree with anything that I said, but I want to be so unapologetically myself. I think mostly the problem is just like feeling so wrong, because you don't know yourself. Most of the times when you feel like you're being performed, it's just because you don't know yourself enough. And it is hard when you go through existential crisis because of these things. Because being performative shouldn't be a problem. Like, your problem is not that you don't like the stuff that you like. Your problem is not being recognized because you do. How can people recognize that you like something if you yourself can't figure that out? That is what I'm getting at. That's what I want to talk about, okay? If I went around and said some things that you don't agree with, please tell me in the comments, and I will try to first explain my point better, and second, try to understand your point of view as well, because that was a very interesting conversation that I would love to get more deep into. You're terrified of faking something, but also you want to appear better. And to appear better, you have to fake, but you're not faking. Well, you feel like you're not faking, but then at the same time, you feel like you are. This is so complicated. This is so complex and so human beings being paradoxical, and I just find it utterly amazing. But well, I will leave you now after this long conversation, and this is my first time being back for a long time, and I already don't know what I'm talking about. Well, bye bye my little apples, and see you next week? Question mark.